Hi, and welcome to Daniel Weekly 438. As you may have noticed, there was no episode last week as I attended the Mozilla Work Week in Whistler, or whatever we call it. Anyway, the entire Mozilla in Whistler, Canada, and I didn't really have the kind of energy or setup or anything to do any video, and I didn't really consider what to say. Anyway, skipped last week, and I'm going to skip a couple of more weeks ahead. I'll mention that later. I wanted to address some other curl stuff, and I wanted to say something about HTTP stuff. About Whistler then, I don't have a lot to say about what we did and what came out from Whistler, because it was more of an internal thing about Mozilla, where we're going and how to do that and what worked before and how to make things even better in the future. We had meetings with the different teams that we really never meet in other cases, or rather I don't meet anyone in normal days, since I work here in Sweden and everyone else in my team are elsewhere, and everyone else at Mozilla is elsewhere too. So it was a great chance to just meet people and feel that I'm not completely alone, even though I work alone most of my days. I just made it possible to download curl releases over HTTPS. I actually just make sure that I host release archives on GitHub as well, so that I can link to the GitHub versions, and users can download them from HTTPS source to make sure that you trust who you get it from, and blah blah blah. It has been requested, of course, for a long time, and I really haven't taken the energy to make it happen, and now I finally made it. So I actually changed a little download table list of archives thing on the download page on the curl site too, to make it slightly nicer and slightly more apparent that you can actually click the over HTTPS link to get it from HTTPS. It can also slightly then offloads our server for downloads if more people go get it from HTTPS instead of our server. Not that it matters much. We have a lot of bandwidth on the server, so we can take that. We currently serve about, I think, slightly less than 300 gigabytes per month from the curl website, which isn't really that much. I think we pay for 1.6 terabytes for the server, or up to at least. So we have a lot more bandwidth to go with if we want to. The server it hosts a lot of other sites too, so it's not only the curl site, but the curl site is the one that is, I think, generates most traffic. Yesterday, I believe, I posted on the mailing list about the libidn problems. Libidn is, of course, the library we use on Linux and a lot of other platforms to handle international domain names, IDN or IDNA, and it has a problem with malformed UTF-8 names, as I mentioned last week, or whatever week I mentioned it, and you can actually crash programs using libidn by sending it bad names, and that then goes for libcurl using programs too. And there's no fix yet for libidn, and my recommendation is disable libidn in libcurl until there's a fix, unless you really need this. And if you really need this, you better check your input, or better, the best scenario, of course, go help the libidn project to make this fix merged and released, so that everyone gets happy again. Basically all programs in the world using libidn has these problems. And I mean, they all have this problem, so this is a really wide and common problem, so it should be fixed. I'm not sure why it takes so long time for people to fix. I also posted a code of conduct file, or I actually just merged one in the Git repository, because I don't think it's much of a fuss. So it's a lot of just obvious things. We should be nice to each other and don't be stupid. And I'd merge it basically just to make sure for newcomers to show that we have this is the way we were supposed to act and this is how we act. It has never been a problem in the project. And just in case you're one of those who actually have experienced badness in other projects, it could be just a good sign to show that this is the way we are supposed to act in the project. I merged HTTP2 push functionality into the main branch, so that's going to be part of the next release. A couple of new options, callbacks, and actually 2 new functions that are available in the callback. Slightly new stuff. You can I mentioned it before, but I should write up a blog post about it, detailing exactly or something. I'm also working on HTTPS proxies. I got a really big, nice pull request for this. The pull request is somewhat incomplete, so it does provide HTTPS proxy support for the OpenSSL backend. It lacks tests, it lacks documentation, and it lacks support for other backends. And it's not only that it lacks support for other backends, the other backends actually no longer builds with this patch applied, which we can't have. So I want to address all those things in the branch before I merge it to the master branch. So there's work to be done there before I can do it. And unfortunately, this is sort of a big and rather intrusive patch. So I think it might become a bit of a problem, since I think it'll get some collisions soon with the master branch. So we'll see. I don't think this branch will go into the master branch and into the release, the 7.44.0 release, because in 2 weeks, in exactly 2 weeks actually, it's Wednesday today, so in exactly 2 weeks on what date is it? Well, it's the first today, so it's the 15th in 2 weeks, and on that date we close the feature window for the next release, the 7.44.0. So if we want to add new features, we want to do it before then, and this is a new feature, and I could do it before then if I spent a lot of time on it. But here's the catch: tomorrow morning I'm going on vacation, and I'm going abroad, and I'm going to spend time with my family, and I'm going to be less active in the curl project, so I probably won't have time to finish all those things with the HTTP proxy before then. So the work will just continue, and we'll get it done at a later point, but it'll then get merged into another release, not the 44 one. Just to make you aware, so please help out. I could use all the help I can get. There's a lot of things to do for that branch to make sure it works. That's about it about the summer. Then when I'll go away for a couple of weeks, and then I'll be back, and I'll have another week of vacation, but then I'll basically probably going to be more home, but I'm slightly more active. And then I'm going to the HTTP workshop in Münster in Germany and meet up with all my HTTP friends, and there's going to be a lot of fun, I hope and trust. That's the end of July, right? Yeah. And then there's the 7.44 release at some point in August, then mid-August sometime, the 12th, yeah, something like that. I also wanted to mention that yesterday Amazon announced that they're making a new TLess library, so it's yet another library. This one however, is still mostly, it seems, focused on the server side, so it ships by default with the client side disabled, and actually even doesn't have certificate verification provided. So it seems like they don't really care yet about the client side. And it also, they build it with the crypto libraries from one of those other libraries like OpenSSL, LibreSSL, BoringSSL. So it isn't really a complete rewrite. It seems that they rewrite the TLS parts and SSL v3 parts actually. So anyway, it's interesting to see that there's apparently room for yet another library. That's about it for this week. We continue, or I continue, to have much fewer viewers of this video since I removed it from the curl web front page. it doesn't really matter. Now I'm also putting up this audio-only version, so I guess a few of you have actually switched over to listening to me only, and that is really the way to do this, because I don't have anything to show on this video. I'm just my face. Not much to see. So, as I mentioned, I'm going on vacation for 2-3 weeks, and then the workshop in Germany, so I might not do another video for like 4 weeks or whatever. It depends on exactly how bored I am, or if I have much to say, or if I get the opportunity, but don't count on it. Probably no more video from me until August at some point. That's about it. Of course, you can follow all my more everyday stuff on Twitter, and join me on the curl mailing lists, and let's work on funny stuff for Firefox. I'll probably mention more of my coming Firefox work on my next video then, because now mostly vacation, but I have some fun work on Firefox stuffy to talk about too, and I can do that later on when it has actually materialized, because right now they're mostly ideas, and I'm trying to document exactly what I'm thinking and how to do it and so on. Until then, have fun. See you.